in the first moment, I see this kind of as from an emotional perspective. Let's say last year, autumn showed us, oh, actually, we don't have to worry about Corona anymore that much. Everyone was afraid what's happening in November. It turned out to be really something, it was okay. We didn't see really a massive impact anymore. Feedback from hoteliers from last summer was like, that's the best summer ever. I had more revenue than ever before. It was really cool. People were keen on actually going and travel again. Emotionally also for me, this year is even bigger. I have 4 vacations planned already, so I'm really keen to travel again. So all this happiness is coming back. We're looking at some data. So Daily Hotel News was reporting that versus 2022, the first few months of the year, reported a RevPAR increase of over 21%. Massive, isn't it? Mainly driven also by increase of ADR. Now, is that going to lead to happy guests also moving forward, increasing the rates? And this is where we're coming to this really, really interesting subject that I'm presenting. We're going to be talking about reviews. Hands up, who loves reviews? 2, 3, 4. Awesome, awesome. That's a big percentage already. Excited for. Thanks for raising the hands. Usually, I get that actually not that much. So reviews is something we don't like. But when you're looking at what's actually a review, it's being perceived as the unavoidable thing happening once you start doing business. It started in the past without the internet. People came to the front desk and gave you feedback already. So it's something you have to take into consideration nowadays. Let's have take a guess. What can this figure stand for? When I'm presenting this in Istanbul, they're always saying like, oh, that's our inflation rate. It's not.
Yes.
Yes.
GRI?
Has to do with reviews.
Person.
Positive review rate.
Ah, awesome. It really is 93% of all reviews globally are positive. Amazing, isn't it? So as not everyone is so excited about the review, so what I'm doing and now in this presentation, I'm taking a comparison to how is actually our reviews being perceived in general business, so not hospitality focused. So potentially we also have a comparison to see how the industry, how Amazon is seeing that, how important it is over there. We see how much it really influences the business or how successful we also can be in achieving bookings on various channels over there.
What do you see as positive actually as a huge figure?
As positive is when you're looking at booking.com, 8 out of 10. Starting 8 out of 10 is positive. You'll see that later on. I've got some data also from Amsterdam. And here, that's where you see then actually the ratio when it turns from being not so positive, so 7 and something, into 8 when it turns green over there as well. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at, there's a something that was populated from the search engine journal at the beginning of this year, looking at reviews and really considering Amazon, how are reviews seen over there, Google reviews, everything over there. I'm stating here 16. When you look that statistic up, it's going to show you 18, but there's some statistics in there saying like investing into a reputation management tool is creating a huge ROI, so I took that off, so really bring up only the necessary ones. And let's have a look. Positive and negative reviews influence consumers. That's, I think, clear to every one of us. 99% of users read reviews. That's the general industry. Hospitality, 95% of users are reading reviews. So there's potential to grow, and I think it's going to happen. We're looking also positive and negative reviews are influencing the customer. There's a study from a Chinese university which is using eye sensor statistics and what are users actually looking at when they're looking at the reviews. And it found out that specifically women are looking at the negative reviews in most of the cases. This makes it understandable for me whenever I'm booking a hotel, And I tell my wife on the phone, hey, I booked that over there. And then she's going, oh, I just looked it up, but did you see that negative review over there? Is it really something good? Now we might think, okay, that's women. There's another statistic coming from end of last year. It's saying 80% of travel-related decisions are done by women. When you also look at who's traveling, 64% of guests are women in hotels nowadays. So this is actually kind of looking into that and considering that, also looking at what am I doing with my negative reviews. It's important. Consumers trust reviews like recommendations from loved ones. I think that has massively increased in the past because these sharing and liking and caring each other with people I don't even know personally has become a common thing, and I think this is actually another add-on why we believe this is really, really crucial. The more reviews, the better reputation. 93% of all reviews are positive. Ultimately, it's about collecting more and more reviews. It will come to an end where it can be positive. Wrong will be saying, oh, don't tell them they can rate us on Google. Now ask them to give it to them and value their feedback. Most consumers don't trust advertising, your subject right now. But advertising, what does it do? It points out the good things where you know you're good at it. Is it trustworthy? Authentic experience. This is what I'm not making you advertising back now. No, but it's people, when prior to booking something, they want to know what's going to be the experience I'm having in the hotel. Pictures can be nice. They can be, you see that on Instagram, how great pictures can look alike or whatever. They want to know what's the experience going to be when I'm going to that property. Shoppers research product reviews on their phones. That's in line with what you're saying. You look after properties on your way to work, in the train. This is where you do your research. And then possibly in the evening you say, now I'm going to do it, now I'm going to book it as well. Something that I think Amazon is also great in, knowing when is the time to book for us as users as well. Reviews are just as important among job seekers. There are a lot of platforms, Indeed as well, prior to actually hiring. And nowadays, we as employees, we have the choice. Actually, we can say, is that a company that's in line with my idea of how work should be? We've got the choice. In order to make the right choice, then I be informed upfront and read what's it going to be like working for this kind of company. 18 to 30-year-old trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. These are the people that just grow up with mobile phones. I didn't. My first mobile phone, Nokia 5110. You can remember it, I'm sure. I got in the third year of my apprenticeship in Germany. By the way, also my question came from earlier about the properties without PMS. That's how I did my apprenticeship. We had a reservation book. We had to pencil in how long a guest wanted to stay with us. And dare him, he wanted to change it, and we had to get it out again. Or he extended, and we had to move another guest to another room in these books. To collect feedback, so as you say, you want to have as much feedback as possible. So you want to get people to actually give you feedback. Tiny subject lines changes can get more reviews. So basically, when you're sending a survey out to your guests, changing or like, help us getting better. You see that a lot nowadays in commerce already, a lot. This can attract more people to give you feedback. Customers believe a product should have 100 plus reviews. Absolutely. Go on Amazon. Amazon product has 5 out of 5 stars, 5 reviews. Are you going to buy? No, no chance. 3.3 stars is the minimum rating customers accept. It's a 1 to 5 rating. We've got Curtis from Booking.com here. He knows how it's working on Booking.com, and that's really like on Booking.com, when you're getting close to the 9 ratio, this is when conversion is increasing exponentially. This is what their statistic. There's no proof point really on how much is review score on Booking.com actually impacting the conversion in general. But you have to have a minimum, and this is also they're becoming to the next point here, most consumers use rating filters. In many cases, and that's what I do, when there's a rating of, when we're talking about a 1 to 5 scale, it's 3. I just take it off. I don't want to see that. I want to get products at an acceptable price that's going to make me happy as well. I don't want to regret it at a later stage. So I really look into, I'm going to buy just that, what I want to have. Few travelers post unsolicited online hotel reviews. I cannot pronounce it, never get it. You have to ask for feedback. Always. It's the posting survey. It can be a touchpoint terminal at the front desk, just giving the smiley or something like this. Ask for it. It's going to make the guest happy. We get requests from hotels that saying, guests ask me where can they leave feedback when they're in the hotel. It's sharing, caring. It really is about this also. Consumers are becoming increasingly suspicious of Facebook reviews. So this wording, fake news, is seen critical by now already. Customers expect you to respond to negative reviews within 7 days. That's in general business. Hotels, someone's writing a review, someone's taking the time to give you feedback and possibly had a negative experience. He's expecting an answer within 4 days from you. This is real. Otherwise, it's like, I'm always taking this comparison. Imagine a receptionist is coming to a guest is coming to the front desk and is complaining at you, and you're not giving him an answer. It's the same. It's as bad as you would do it on the reception, not answering on a review online. It might not be important for the guest leaving the review at this moment, being like, okay, they don't care, okay, I go to the next hotel. It's important for the future guests to come, because they are looking at the hotel, they see what is the experience going to see, and I say, oh, there's a review that's negative, that bothers me, that could help avoid me going into this hotel. But when the hotel is actually giving a response, giving a feedback, it changes how the business of the hotel is being perceived. Let's step back to the industry. How are reviews being seen on hotels? Where they're being looked at? Hotels' website, number 1. And there's a lot of statistics that every guest considering a hotel is going to the website. 2.6 seconds the hotel has to actually convince the guest with the website to actually, it's a good product. What can enhance this time, but also the information that he's now willing to book it? User-generated content from people giving feedback to the hotel. Place it on the website. It's increasing the time guests are spending on the website doing research. It's avoiding guests having to go to TripAdvisor or Holiday Check to read actually feedback. What's this experience is going to be like? Make it available over there. Make it available close to where the booking path is starting, so conversion can easily happen than otherwise. Earlier, Google, there are others as well, but Google is the channel which is receiving the biggest amount of reviews and feedback. You've got search engine optimization, you could do Google AdWords possibly. Bring that in line with user-generated content from guests giving you feedback, so it's visible and it's increasing your visibility on the web as well. TripAdvisor, important still, but decreasing. Booking.com, in terms of reviews, still after Google, the biggest platform receiving reviews as well. What are the most important subjects that guests want to read on the reviews? These are things you're not willing to sacrifice going to a hotel. Cleanliness. What's the service like? If I'm going to a 2-star hotel, yep, it needs to be clean. Someone needs to be polite to me at the front desk, minimum. If I'm keen on having breakfast or dinner, food and beverage should be fine. One aspect is missing here, security. Security is no one gonna sacrifice. You wanna be in a safe place, and especially when you go into different countries you haven't been into, this is gonna be really critical to actually make available. How long should you wait to respond to reviews? Or what time frame should it be? And it takes you to respond. That's something I answered already. So someone actually writing a review to a guest, so he's taking the time. And we see also we said earlier, 93% of all reviews are positive. We see a trend. People are not spending time anymore for neutral reviews. So they're not giving you, yeah, it was okay, I'm not sure if I'm coming back. No one's going to say that anymore. It's either be something positive or it's something negative as well. This is what it is, feedback, and people like to help hoteliers to get better in what they're offering as well. And reading reviews and the responses to it, mostly it's really, as I said earlier, the negative reviews. And that's, again, think a little bit about, that's my experience now. How am I searching on Amazon? I look at the general rating, it's good, perfect. Now let's see what's negative about the product. And then I want to hear and read what happened or what is actually happening over there. What should be convincing arguments to leave a review for a hotel? You can include 10% for the next stay or something like that. You can, and that booking should happen on your website then directly. So you actually increase direct business over there. Any kind of incentive, any kind of, on your next day, and you've got a hotel over there, you potentially can offer you something special over there. This is what's really triggering it as well. But also these small lines that were mentioned earlier, help us making your stay even better. This is basically what the incentive could be. And looking at reviews in general, this is how we're seeing it should be actually taken care of. So you've got an analytic part, which is giving you feedback about what you're great at, what you need improvement, tools to actually help you getting better on that. The survey to collect feedback after the guest is there. Make that survey score available on Google. So really, again, make use out of the feedback and enrich your visibility on Google or TripAdvisor if you like. Make reviews available on your website as well. Ask guests after the check-in up front, what do they like? How is their experience so far? Or throughout the stay with Wi-Fi surveys or with QR surveys in order what can be done better. Because here at the end, you get the overall rating. But how powerful would it be if you know, I'm getting an 8.5 out of 10 here, and I see the guest was in the spa, he gave me a 9 out of 10 over there. After I checked in, he gave me a 7 out of 10, so something was wrong there. He was in a restaurant, he gave me an 8.5 out of 10. So you really actually see which steps in the customer journey are adding value, and which areas do you need to work on to actually optimize them as well. So at the end, it's about increasing the score and the NPS, what you like there on your stay. Just helping to make your guests more happy. And these are the areas, globally speaking, that are being the most positive ones. So service, hotel, location, always great. Wi-Fi, price, and room. And this area here in price. So people are rating price, value, perception more negative, mostly since the general ADR increase in hotels. So it's really, we see it as kind of a key point, focusing on these areas, so you can further go up with your rates and still make guests happy. How's it looking for Amsterdam? So basically we did a roadshow, and happy travel for us, for example, was traveling by car yesterday from Brussels to Amsterdam. Olivier, I'm sorry for the Pringles in the car. And basically, so we have collected some data. So basically, you see the hotels in Rotterdam, the hotels in Brussels, and 831 of the Amsterdam hotels, which we have got in here. You see the review amount that we have in there. You see how big that is actually with the amount of hotels in Amsterdam. You see the performance also. So best performing for this year's period is actually Brussels, followed by Amsterdam. Then there you see the change in terms of the performance. So actually Amsterdam last year was better than this year as well. Rotterdam improved versus last year's. Location rating you see over there. And down here, here's a cleanliness challenge in all destinations a little bit over there. But also when I look at the hotels in Amsterdam, I can see a little bit there are a lot of apartments in there. So really something not where you can say there's a brand behind it. So really a lot of independent apartments that we find. Maintenance is the same. Food, yeah, Amsterdam the best one out of these three. That's where you see also how it's turning green. Wi-Fi, not so positive in all destinations. Looking at the categories that are getting most of the mentions, in in Amsterdam, it's the room category. So basically, what's sitting behind it is a tool that's reading and understanding what guests are writing. And when it's spotted, it's about room, it's about air conditioning, it's about service friendliness, or something like that. And then it's putting it as a negative mention or as a positive. This is how it's being broken down. The biggest amount of reviews is coming on the room in Amsterdam, followed by location, which is critical, I think. Hotel, service. There are other areas in the world where service is actually almost at the top already. And then when you're breaking down into subcategories, then you can actually find out what really triggers the guests. For example, when you're looking at the service area, service friendliness is staying really up front, also has a 9.2 rating, so it's really good. When we talk about service as well in here. And when we're looking at the impact of reviews in Amsterdam for the first month of this year, you can see that room cleanliness, baths, and bathroom have the most negative impact for the first month of this year. Service is actually improving the scores that we're having here, and then you also see kind of, these are the, I just sorted it by the amount of reviews that we're getting. There's the Arbeidsplaats Amsterdam Airport, getting a Klink Nord, which is a hostel, I believe. And I need to research it, and it's a big hostel. The advertising is really cheap rooms to stay there. Also funny, I looked after the hotel, and I already got my retargeting pictures now in there as well. Which is kind of great. Eibisschop Airport, also a lot of reviews. I think that's the one I stayed in there. One thing I skipped earlier, sustainability in terms of reviews is getting more and more important. I stayed at the Ibis, I got a wooden key card. Kind of nice, interesting. It's about being serious about it as well, or avoiding it completely at the end. I think that's where we're going to learn that from the usual hotels then in the future as well. Looking forward to that. And then obviously we can compare Amsterdam performance against international brands like Intercontinental, Marriott, Radisson for the European market. So over there in here. That's it from my side. Thanks for listening. Any questions? Cool. Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
I'm curious about a statistic.
Yeah. Oh.
If 93% of reviews are the example that you gave earlier of the 8, why do we not see more 8+ posters on Booking.com?
8+ on Booking.com.
Yeah, the review score. She said it's considering 93% will leave over an 8 on the review score.
Exactly.
Why are there not more hotels that are above 8?
Good point. One, we would need to pull the data from Booking.com specifically, which we can. But one of the reasons can also be that 44% of all reviews globally are coming from the post-stay service of the hotels. So we have visibility to the hotels that are working with us as well, which are being considered as well. But as an example, Intercontinental, Marriott, Radisson hotels, we don't have visibility to this kind of data of the surveys as well. So Booking.com can be different over there, but when we are considering also the surveys that are coming in, we get these positive reviews. Also an aspect can be, if you use post-stay service, you can actually customize them so it's becoming relevant. So you get relevant feedback. In many cases also it can help you getting better feedback as well from these surveys, because you also want to push them back to Google. So really you want to make use out of that as well.
But the 93% was not specific to hotels, right? It was also the Amazon.
No, that's
and-
hotels. That's hospitality.
It was hospitality.
That's
Okay,
hospitality.
I thought you mentioned.
Yeah, but you know, when we're looking at the scoring here, so basically there's always a question like, how would you rate your stay so far? And then basically in most of the cases that is a positive one. And when we're looking at a negative one, we're breaking it down really into, so for example, the stay was good, but potentially maintenance was bad because they spotted a stain somewhere as well. But still, it didn't impact them, the experience overall so much. So this is basically, the review, the survey itself was positive, and guests keep on actually giving feedback. This could be even better than as well.